thought Michael Jackson was coming on.
We can hear
Looking out. Yo, I gotta show you all these artificial intelligence Michael Jackson clips I got. Yo, them joints are hilarious.
Wow. I know y'all heard Miyoko talking in the background. That was good. That was real good. Good. Yes. Hello, everybody.
What's
We're having
happening?
Yes. Today, I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday. I know Miyoko and I have both came from a super long weekend of traveling, kids, fun, all the things. So we're super duper excited about you guys showing up on today's conversation. And for a lot of you guys, some of you guys get a little technical about this. I know I have. I'm speaking of myself when it comes to products and positioning. If that's something that those of you who are watching have struggled with, whether it's recently or in the past, go ahead and type me in the chat. But hello, everybody. Let's do some quick introductions. My name is Letitia Campbell. I have my amazing co-host, Miyoko Taylor, and we are the founders of Your Brand, Your Breakthrough LLC. Okay. And we definitely enjoy coming on with you guys and talking about various different things about branding, email marketing, thought leadership, and so much more. So let's go ahead and jump in for today's topic, which is why your product isn't the problem, it's your positioning. Now, you and I, Miyoko, have both been on these internet streets for a long time, and everybody talks about start with the product, right? I know I've heard that, right?
Right.
And a lot of times when you do that, you create something that maybe people are not interested in or not ready for, or they don't know how to buy. Right. So we're going to jump into that, guys. I strongly feel that this particular topic, everyone who, whether you are a online business owner, whether you have a brick and mortar, whether you are influencer, everybody needs to hear this conversation. So as you guys are rolling on in, please do us a quick favor and go ahead and share out this broadcast. And we're going to definitely take the technical side out of this conversation. What do you think, Miyoko?
I'm ready to go. Let's get into it.
Let's go. All right, y'all. So make sure y'all participate. Make sure y'all have any questions. Go ahead and put in the chat. If y'all have any questions you want to come on screen, go ahead and type in question mark or type question in the comments, and we'll add you on screen later so you can ask your questions. And so let's get into it. So your profile should right? That's the question we always ask sometimes when we're making business pages. Let me go back here a little bit, right? Before you ask what platform should you show up on, you first got to ask yourself, how do you want to look?
Right.
That's how it is. I know I'm a female, right? So before I go anywhere, I say what I'm going to wear. Before I came on this live and started talking to you guys, I said, what am I going to wear today? How do I want to look? Do I want to wear our green brand colors, the YBYB colors? Do I want to wear something else? How do I want to look? What's the type of energy I want to give with my appearance? And it's the same thing for our profiles. It's the very first thing that your audience sees before they actually decide on whether or not they want to continue watching you, not buy yet, but continue watching you. Does that make sense?
Right. So your profile has a banner in the back of it. And I've been kind of helping even with my clients with the whole positioning and stuff like that. So this is how emotional intelligence comes in, because everybody that probably knows me at this point, I do a lot with EQ and emotional intelligence, and personal branding ties into that in a very, very big way, because people feed off emotions, how they feel, what they see, right? So when somebody goes to your profile, what we mean by telling people what you do, who are you, and what it is that you do, people need to understand how you help them in less than 3 seconds, right? So when they go to your profile, you tell them who you are and exactly how you help them. You don't just start spewing off a bunch of accolades, credentials, certifications, and things like that. People absolutely do not care about that. And we'll get into that in the second piece. But tell people who you are and how exactly you help them. Don't use any type of jargon. Don't use any big words. don't try to make yourself sound smarter than what you are. That's not what people are really looking for. Tell them who you are and how you can help them in 3 seconds or less. Keep it simple, but keep it effective to the way that they're 100% clear that they know who you are and how you help people.
That's right. That's right. Because clarity curates credibility. Miyoko and I was discussing this last week about a particular person who, could be a potential client, and we're looking at their profile. We're like, okay, they talk about this, they talk about that. It really was no clarity. So even if the person's struggle was they have an email list, they have a high open rate, which is great. Like that's big. Sending out emails, that's one win. You get a high open rate, that's win number two. But they're losing when it comes to the conversion. Again, when you don't have clarity, you're not building the credibility. And that's what's the awesome part of telling people what you do, in your profiles, that they get that clarity. You know what I'm saying? People automatically know within 5 seconds, immediately within 5 seconds. Almost like if you were, I was just at the outlets over the weekend. It's literally as you're passing the store. Okay, that store sells shoes. This store sells clothing. This one does makeup. Like just from the window display. I didn't have to walk in and figure out what they do. So we gotta position. And I know here's the thing: Miyoko and I both know that social media is just an oversaturated space. You know what I mean? And even for us, we're tapping into better platforms. Which we'll get into in just a second. But us knowing that, and you guys knowing that, you got to be even more clearer, so you can be even more credible to your audience, right? So that's very awesome. I know there's some little titles. Some people asked me before, like, hey, what is some titles like I should avoid? I get it. We all like to have coach on our profile, and that's great. But think of something else. You know what I'm saying? We all have consulting. Everyone says entrepreneur. Okay, what type of everybody has that on their profile. But what type of entrepreneur? That's so broad, right? So, I always say lead with results, based statements. I think that's always.
So me personally, I don't have coach or anything like that on my banner. I don't think people really care about the title. I cannot stress this enough to everybody listening. Nobody really cares about your title. They do not care. What they care about is who are you and how do you help people? And does this pretty much fall in line with something that I need? Is this a problem that I'm struggling with? And do I want to fix it bad enough to actually look into it? And do I trust you? And do I feel safe enough for you to be the person to actually help me with this? So don't focus so much on titles: coach, leadership expert, thought leader, all those things. Those are all vanity metrics, to be honest. Vanity titles. Nobody really cares. They care about whether or not you can help me. Period. So focus on that. We keep overcomplicating this because there's a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants, a lot of programs out there that are giving you all these fancy frameworks and things like that. And yeah, it looks great, but is it actually helping you get to where you want to go? And are you actually helping your clients? Because what you're doing is you're portraying this same persona. Somebody's coaching you and teaching you how to basically talk a lot about nothing. Looks good. Presentation to you looks good, but to your ideal client, it's just like, it's confusing. I don't understand it. I don't connect to it at all. I don't understand how this person can help me. They're off to the next. All right. So make things very, very simple.
Spot on. Now let's segue into explain why it matters. Explain why it matters, right? And when you said that, when we were talking about last night, we were talking about the talking points for today. That second part really resonated with me, because it's like, okay, does my profile really talk about why? Explain why it matters. Like, I share what I do, but why does that matter? And I think for all of us who are listening in right now, we all have to refine that. You know what I mean? We got to really hone in on what that is. Because just like the icon says, it's almost like, now you're flying up here, because you're telling people, okay, great. You're telling people who you are. Awesome. You coach, mentor, you help women who suffer from domestic violence, whatever, right? But why? Why does that matter to them?
Right.
Why is that important? Why do I need to continue following you? Why do I have to hit that like button? Why I have to continue on with checking you out and stuff? So it's about what matters to them. And it goes back to what you're saying. We sometimes, not us, not you and I, but a lot of people get so hung on titles, because that makes us feel good, right? Something for the most part, right? Makes us feel like, okay, we have a business. But
Right.
why does that matter to the people who you want to follow you? You
Right.
know, why does that matter to people you want to join your email list? Go ahead,
And I
Miyoko.
just I just want to make a point when we're talking about profiles, right? Because Facebook's profile is different. You don't have a lot of real estate there. You got the you got the picture, you got the banner, you got a little bit of a headline and a title, which is very, very short on characters. And then you got some links that most people don't really look at, right? Then on LinkedIn, obviously your profile is very different. You have your picture, you have your banner, you have your headline, you have your about me section, right? Then you have other little nuances and things involved in LinkedIn that you can actually do. YouTube, it's different. So depending on what platform you're on, your profile is going to look very different. Regardless of the platform you are on, people have to know what's in it for them. So as the best as you can, you have to be able to utilize a strategy to where you can actually show people, oh, this is why this matters to me. This is why I should listen. Now, they're not going to trust you right away, but if you're actually producing good content, you're clear on who you are and what you do, and you explain why it matters to them. Now you're giving them a reason to check you out every day or every
I
week or
love that.
whenever you're delivering your content. You got to give people a reason to want to check you out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it doesn't matter to them, it's it's the famous "What's in it for me." If it doesn't really matter to them, why should they listen to you? And I'm the same way. If I'm following somebody online, if I'm trying to network with somebody online, why does it matter to me to follow them? Why does it matter for me to look at their content? Why does it matter to me to actually have them on my radar in the event that I may need their help one day? Maybe I don't need what they offer, but what is so interesting about them to where I say, hey, you know what? This is something that matters to me. This may be something that I need in the future. So I'm actually going to follow this person. I can learn from them, or I may want to purchase their product in the future or their service.
That's right.
All right. So you have to really, really lock in on why does it matter to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, none of this stuff is about you.
And I see a bunch of y'all on here. Y'all kind of quiet. I always joke about this, but I'm kind of serious. We may just take this one down. This is like a whole training. This is a whole mastermind. Because this is going to help you guys, get over that curve. It really is, and it's definitely going to help you stand out. It's definitely going to help. So I hope y'all taking notes. I hope you're taking notes. So number 3, lead them to do something.
Yes.
Lead them to do something. I think 99% of people who are watching this right now forget that part. We get hung up on everything else except for this main part. Miyoko, go ahead. Yeah, you hit
No,
your hand
I was
up.
going to say this was something that I struggled with for a long time.
Right.
Like I would give out good content, have people following me, have people in my inbox, in my DMs, but I never really led them to do something else other than to come to my content, right? Come to my content. So it's like you've got all these pulls from all these different platforms, right?
Right.
And it's just like, hey, you know what? I want to see what this guy's doing. He's saying some good content. He's got some good stuff. We're feeling him. We're connecting with him. And then the next thing is just like, oh, all right. Until next time. And then people flock again. They come listen to you again. And then I was realizing, I'm just like, wow, this is really not a business. Because with a business, you have frameworks, you have systems, you have support, you have all these particular things in place to where somebody's listening to your content. Now you tell them what to do, whether it's to download a free guide, whether it's to book a call, whether it's to go look at a website.
Right.
There has to be some type of call to action after you engage people. What's the next logical step in your universe? And that's something that I really didn't have. And I think that's something that you have to constantly tweak. I mean, because
depending on the season, the time of the year,
depending on the season, the time of the year, depending on the marketing trend in your industry, whatever it is, sometimes that call to action has to change.
Right.
But I didn't have one at all. I just enjoyed, and I want everybody listening to this. Sometimes we get caught up in our purpose and our mission and helping people. We forget that this is a business.
That's right.
So lead them to do something. Where are they going after they engage with you, after they know who you are, after they feel safe with you, they know, like, and trust you, and they love your comment? Where are they going after that?
That's right.
Where are you leading them to? How are you keeping them in your world? Because if not, they enjoy your content, then they go scatter off somewhere else.
That's right.
You know, some of those people come back, but a lot don't. So while
Yep.
you have their attention and while they're engaged, how are you keeping them in your universe? How are you
Mhm.
capturing that person and developing a community from it? You have to
That's
lead
right.
them to do something.
Right.
I cannot stress that enough. I have lost a lot of money, a lot of clients, a lot of people on my email list, all those particular things,
And a lot of referrals. Yep.
and a lot of referrals, just
Mhm.
because I didn't tell them to do something.
That's right.
I didn't lead them
That's
to the next step in the process of getting to know me and what I do and how to actually work with me and those things like
That's
that.
right.
So
Yeah.
that is a very, very important. All of this is important, but this is the part that really choked me up for years.
Mhm.
For years.
That's right.
You know, and don't be afraid to ask them to do something. They're sticking around for a reason.
That's right.
They're engaging with you. They're consuming your content. They're following you in everything that you do. Don't be afraid to ask them for something.
Mhm.
Be it a product, be it a service, be it be it a download, a name
Mhm.
and an email address. I think sometimes when we're so caught up in purpose and doing what we love, it's just like, oh, I don't want to sell to anybody. I don't want to feel like that.
Mhm.
Don't look at it from that perspective. If they're
Yeah.
hanging out with you every single day, day in and day out, and they're consuming your content, they're waiting for you to present something to them that interests them enough that solves a major problem that they can actually invest in themselves, and you be the
Mhm.
person that actually helps them solve the problem.
Yeah. And that could be your biggest mistake by not having someone to lead them, because you could be building up momentum for somebody else, right? So while
Right,
you're out
right.
there,
No, listen, for somebody else to screw
just
them
keeping
over
it
though.
real.
For somebody else to screw them over.
Yes.
You know how many
Oh,
times,
wow.
listen, you know how many times, and I want this to be a lesson to everybody listening. You know how many times somebody has come to me and said, man, I love your content. I purchased this one course, or this, I went with this one coach, spent $10,000 on this one coach. And I'm like, why did you go over there? Well, they said, well, I didn't think you were able to help me with, I thought you were able to help me with this problem, but you didn't have a program or you didn't have anything that I saw. So I went with them.
Mhm.
And when I started thinking about it, I'm like, man, I dropped the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
had the things and the tools to help them, but I dropped the ball.
That's right.
There was no, I didn't position it. There was no presentation for it. So I'm telling you, I can't stress enough. You have to lead them to do something.
That's right.
They want to do something, but you have to lead them to do something. That's up to
Have
you.
to. You
And
have
that's
to.
what a business does.
Yep. People shouldn't guess what's next. Yes, they have an
Absolutely.
idea of what you do. They know why it matters, but as far as where you want to lead them, they shouldn't have to guess that. It should not.
No.
It should be a guide or something that you lead them into on a consistent basis. And just getting to a more personal part of it all, a lot of times people don't do that because they get really this limiting belief that, oh, I don't want to come off pushy or salesy or whatever. I know those limiting beliefs comes up, but if you're not leading people somewhere, then you're that's part of you building your empire, building your cause, your mission, your business, whatever it is. I mean, if you're not getting them to either book a call with you, or send a freebie, or maybe a Facebook group or something, take them lead them somewhere, even if you don't have your physical product is not ready yet. I was just talking to a client the other day, and she was like, yeah, I want to launch something in January. I'm like, okay, great. You got to start now. you gotta,
Absolutely.
you gotta build that list now. You gotta build that traction now. I mean, don't wait till January, right?
I,
I mean, wait. Have the lead up. I mean, we go into the mall, you see a store coming.
yeah.
What they have up
Coming
there, they have
soon.
signage up, coming soon. It could
Coming
be
soon.
6 to 8 months from now. We all know how
Yeah.
construction
Yep.
works, especially here in New York. It's crazy, but they still put something up there. Go ahead.
I wanted to say something about people that feel like they're being too pushy
Right.
when it comes to sales, when it comes to offering something.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you feel like you're being too pushy is because you're using tactics that are not aligned with who you are and what's important to you, right? You will never, ever, ever feel pushy in sales if you are completely doing it authentically yourself.
Right.
It supports your value, your principles, your beliefs, and you realize that your audience needs it, and you're positioning it in a way where you are offering it to them as a service, you will never feel like you're doing anything pushy. A lot of you will feel like you're doing pushy things because your content is not doing any type of nurturing, any type of education, any type of bringing people into your universe. Your content's
Right.
not doing it. Your background photos, your banners, your headlines, all these things are designed to bring your potential audience into your world.
Right.
It's to make them feel something. It's giving them an experience, and this is how emotional intelligence comes in, because a lot of people do not think or do not even know, they're not even aware that emotional intelligence is weaved into every single thing that we do.
Everything.
So
Everything.
it's definitely in sales. It's definitely in how people view your profile and your content and those things. People want to feel something. They want to feel inspired. You know, they want to feel like they have a sense of accountability. Your content, your profile can do all these things. So it's about how you want people to feel. And we make decisions emotionally all the time. Okay. It's never really a, this seems logical, so I'm going to purchase this today. It's more like, I feel this way. This is a problem that I've been having for a long time. I believe that this person can help me. I've been watching them for a long time. It's time for me to actually take the next step and invest in myself. Well, most always we make emotional buying decisions. All right. So if you feel emotionally away when it comes to selling, you may want to look at how you're presenting yourself in your content, your profile, and just your business overall. Because I'm telling you, if you do it the right way, you'll feel a lot more comfortable with saying, hey, you know what? I just launched this particular thing. It's going to help solve this problem. I see that you're dealing with this. This is what it is. If you're interested, let's have a conversation. We can talk more about it and what that looks like for you.
Right.
Very simple.
I
Very
love that.
non-threatening, very simple.
You know, business, our profiles is our representation. You know, it's how we represent ourselves to the world. You know, you got millions of people on social media across all platforms. You know, so you and I'm not calling no names. You can have a really pretty brand with everything. I mean, the profile is down to the T, and they sell the worst products, right? They have the worst client services, right? And then those of us who are out there really making a huge impact, we sleep on these three things. And then we wonder why. Well, why did that person go to that go over there, right? Why did they buy from them? And we really got to look at, okay, representation plays a huge factor. It's the first thing people see, and is what our audience judges. I mean, you guys, yes, they're gonna fall in love with you. They're gonna watch you. They're gonna be glued. But there's gonna be a large percentage of people that are not even going to give you that opportunity, right? Because of how you represent yourself on that profile. So I think that's what resonates for me, that I know I myself also need to look at, because like Miyoko said earlier, we always are going to be tweaking this. So don't look for the perfect because throughout the years, depending on the season of the year, what have you, is always going to be tweaked a little bit, depending on your audience. Okay, so I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this conversation. I really, really do. I know that some of y'all who are technical thinkers, you're like, oh my God, you know, overthinking it. And it's really about, it's really about you narrowing it down. But for those of you who need like that extra help, we do have several things that we offer as far as like audits and signature process. So y'all let us know in the chat if would you like an audit? Would you like to really figure out what is that process for you, so you can do step one? Because some of you are hung up on that. First point is tell people what you do. So let us know in the comments about that, and Miyoko and I can definitely reach out to you, so you guys can definitely get access to those resources. Right, Miyoko?
Right. And lastly, I want to say, don't focus on 3 or 5 different profiles at once.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Pick a specific platform that you really do well on, that you're comfortable with, that you want to start getting engagement on, and then go from that platform. And then you branch out into the other platforms. I made the mistake of having a bunch of platforms. And so I've got several platforms with pretty sizable audiences on them. But it becomes very overwhelming when you're trying to deal with those particular audiences at one time. So what I did is I particularly focused on the audience and the platform that was best for me, that pretty much had my ideal client and where I can be best served showing the value and the content that I have to that particular platform. So
Very
make
true.
sure you just start with one, and then you can kind of integrate all the other ones in, but just start with one. And when you
Yes.
get that down to a science, everything will be easier when it comes to putting your profile together for the other platforms, because
Yeah.
marketing on the other platforms is a whole different animal that we won't get into today, because
Yeah.
different story.
And just go deeper into that, focus on a platform that you can market on and that you can engage on too. Because Miyoko and I always say this, like, don't just come on a platform and think, okay, all you're going to do is be posting. You got to
Right.
engage, you got to
Yes.
like, you got to comment, you got to really give value to other people's content. I think we miss that fact that social media is about being social. Okay,
Right.
so we got to be, even for myself, it's like, you know what? Before I hop to bed, let me spend about 30 minutes being social. You
Right.
know, we always want people, okay, I posted, come to me, come to me, come to me. But a lot of times, some of our profiles can even be shadow banned to where we're not out there being social. People, we're not going to get the results that we want. So I think that's important. We just definitely missed that point. Yeah. All right. So again, y'all, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know, guys, what do you need? You know, these conversations are all about you guys. Do you need an audit? Do you need, to figure out, well, what is your process? What is that step one of telling people what you do? And are you really tapping into really telling people why does your business and your mission, the problem that you are solving matters, So let us know in the comments. Let us know what your needs are. All right, guys. So we will be back on tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you put your notifications on so you can be locked in. And Miyoko and I are so happy that you guys joined us today. Replay viewers, thank you guys. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye,
All right.
guys.
Listen to this again. This is good stuff.
Yes, it
See you
is.
tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.